So, as always, Mike, let's start the show off with the biggest story that's kind of running around pro wrestling this week. AEW might have lost its biggest star, and that star in question here is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, aka MJF. The star was last seen at the AEW World's End pay-per-view. At that pay-per-view, he was unable to defend his AEW World Championship title against Samoa Joe and was eventually betrayed by Adam Cole, who turned out to be the Masked Devil. Since then, MJF has been absent from the ring and absent from AEW. However, recent developments suggest that there is rumors swirling around he could show up at WrestleMania 40. Now, Mike, I hate to burst everybody's bubble here, but I'm sorry. That ship has sailed for MJF. Not as far as like wrestling fans, but for MJF himself. Right now, as it stands, WWE has every chess piece it needs to be the greatest version of a pro wrestling company we have ever seen, and I'm including the Attitude Era in that statement. Unfortunately for MJF, you just waited too long. You didn't pull the trigger. You didn't commit when you had the chance to insert yourself and let it be known in January that this was the move you're making. You didn't do it. At this point in time, I think the only person who believes this is a possibility is MJF himself, trying to wish himself into the main event of WrestleMania, because he now looks at the two playgrounds and he sees that the WWE one just looks a little bit more fun. But WWE has The Rock, they have CM Punk, they have Cody Rhodes, you have Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, MJF, we're good at the top of that roster. We don't need any main guys anymore. If Maxwell wants to fill out an application to join Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in the WWE mid-card, we'll happily take a look at it and we'll see what we can do with it. But Triple H right now is cooking on a main event stove, and we don't need any more chefs in the kitchen. Like, thank you, but no thank you, MJF. You can politely return back to your dysfunctional home where your man in charge grossly overpaid Mercedes Moné in hopes of drawing up a little more attention as his ship sinks. And once all the smoke clears from WrestleMania, maybe we'll take a look at bringing you in to have a couple matches with Logan Paul and Austin Theory down the line. But there's not a main event spot for MJF in WWE right now. Mike, this rumor has no basis. This is, I think, MJF or AEW in general just trying to stay relevant and in the conversation so that when ultimately MJF does show back up in AEW, they can kind of play this game where it's something like, well, you thought you were going to get him, but we still had him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like you said, I think the ship has sailed. You know, in terms of the WWE roster as a whole, I think you've got your main players right now. You've got your solidified mid-card, and you're about to bring up a bunch of NXT guys after WrestleMania. So where does MJF fit if he wants to make the jump? There's nowhere for him to fit at this point. You know, a lot of rumors are saying, oh, he's going to show up at WrestleMania 40. He's going to help Cody Rhodes. Cool. But what happens after that? I mean, that whole storyline with Cody, The Rock, and Roman, that's a monster of its own. All right. You're not inserting yourself and staying in that picture. So, you know, for me, what I look at in terms of what AEW has done with his, roster spot and his merchandise, I think what's happening is they're getting ready to maybe repackage him, maybe, get him a new render on the AEW website, some new merchandise. It just kind of gives me the idea that he's going to be making a return soon. I don't think he's making the jump to WWE. Like you said, Triple H has all his chess pieces in play right now. There's nothing for him in WWE to do at this point. Maybe down the line.
Sure.
But right now, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, what do you do after WrestleMania? Like, he shows up, he helps Cody, huge pop, people go crazy, and then what? There's no place for him. It absolutely doesn't make sense to me. I think there's no basis for that rumor.
I agree.
All right, Mike.
Better bring it if we debating going toe to toe. No holding back, I'm speaking the facts. Let me introduce you to the dopest show. Nerdy D and Milwaukee Mike, bringing the energy. If you a fan of wrestling and especially WWE, this is the Casual Wrestling Show.